So the other units came and took the parents away, and we had to take her to, she had a red sock on her hand. And I thought she was playing puppet. And so I said, why do you have a red sock on your hand? That beautiful smile went to a frown again, and she said, I did it. I burned my hand. As I lifted up the sock, what we saw was, still I can see the scar and the burn in her hand, the little girl. Just happened hours before. And so we had to take her to the Sherman Oaks Burn Center. But before we went through McDonald's, got a Happy Meal, we had to go back to the station to take photographs and make sure everything was right for later down the road. So we gave her crayons and other things, and we're in this little room. People had heard what happened to this little girl. So they came in, and immediately everybody was drawn to the scar and the burn on her palm. But you know this little girl did? She took the crayons and she was drawing this tree and a sun and a police officer, again, a skinny officer, Steve, waving, saying, like with a big smile. And she would hand this to the people who came in with that anger looking at the scar, but they left. They left looking at the drawing, smiling, and wiping tears from their eyes. So we took her to the Sherman Oaks Burn Center the next shift. Everybody who met her went out on their own. Nobody organized anything. Hey, Steve, are you and Janice going to see that little girl? To the hospital, give her this. Can't stop thinking about her. Teddy bears and dolls and all this kind of stuff. So we drive down there. I did the same thing. So we have all this stuff, and we go into the Sherman Oaks Burn Center, and that's a horrible place to be. Any burn, if you've been a victim of it's horrific. She's in her room, and we walk in with all these little teddy bears and dolls, and she jumps out, and she has these IVs in the wheelchair. We say, look at what we have for you. So she says, come on, I want you to meet my friends. She made friends with everybody, the nurses and the patients, and she was giving some of the things away. So we were going from room to room, and she was holding on to this white, fluffy teddy bear with a big red bow. I'll never forget it. So we walk into the last room. It was a young man, maybe burned in a house fire or something. There was machines, and Dr. Grossman was there, nurses, and poor young guy wrapped in gauze. You could see his eyes. So we're at the edge of the room. And she goes in, she's in the edge of the room, and she takes her good hand. She reaches out and touches the young man's leg. She takes the teddy bear. She lays it next to him. She reaches out with her good hand and says, don't worry, I'm here. I'll take care of you. And she touches his leg. Officers and nurses and doctors and professionals just weeping. At that moment, you could just feel the Holy Spirit. That one moment in time, that one moment in the hospital, this young man felt nothing but love. Friends, the scars, it's our choice. Do we focus on the scars and the evil, and all the justice took care of itself? But the point is that we reach out with love. We reach out with hope, and we touch. The scars will always be there, but do we focus on the scars of life? Because Jesus had the scars on the cross. And I truly believe that he reaches out and he touches and said, don't worry, I'm here. Everything's going to be okay.